Okay, this is part 2 of lesson 3-4. So now we're going to write and solve a multi-step equation. So from the verbal sentence, I'm going to translate it into an equation and then solve. So here I have 2/3 of a number. So 2/3 of a number minus 6 is 10. Negative 10. Okay, so now I know the first thing that I need to do is, because I have minus 6, I want to add 6 to both sides. So we'll cancel out to 0 here. And now I just have 2/3 x equals negative 4. Okay, so when we want to get rid of the fraction in front, we want to multiply by the reciprocal. Because I did it to the left side, I also have to do it to the right side. So now the 3's cancel out and the 2's cancel out, and I just have x left over on this side. And over here, if I want to put this as a fraction, this is negative 4/1. So I multiply across for fractions. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and 1 times 2 is 2. So my answer here is going to be x equals negative 6. Okay, so let's try the next one together. I'm just going to erase this here. Okay, 6 less than 2/3 of a number. Okay, so I have 2/3 of a number, and I have 6 less. So 6 less than 2/3 of a number x is negative 10. Okay, so we can see that this equation is actually the same as the one that we did up here in this problem. Okay, it's just another way to say it. So our answer again will be the same. Okay, please try both of these, so pause the video for a moment and then check back at your work. So again, we're going to write and solve a multi-step equation. 29 is 13 added to 4 times a number. So 13 added to 4 times a number. So 4x, this is 4 times a number. What is the number? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and solve. If I subtract 13 from both sides, okay, I'm just going to bring this down here. This becomes 0. And on this side I have 4x left. And over here, I'm going to have 16. Okay, so the opposite of multiply is divide. So I need to divide by 4 on both sides. This would leave me x on here. So now I know that x is equal to 4. Okay, so you should have gotten x is equal to 4. So I'm going to erase here so I have more room. And let's go ahead and try the next one. 15 minus 3 times the number. Okay, I'm going to circle the equals because that's the other side. So 15 minus 3 times the number. This is 3 times the number, 3x, equals negative 22. Okay, so we want to find that number. So the first thing, I have positive 15, so I'm going to subtract 15 to make it 0, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Here, make sure to remember to bring down the negative sign, negative 3x. So negative 22 minus 15 is negative 37. Okay, and then we're going to divide that by negative 3. So the negative divided by negative becomes positive. Okay, so now I have x is equal to 37/3. Okay, you may leave it as a fraction or you may divide. I'm going to do it up here. Okay, so 3 goes into 1 3 times. Bring down the 7. 2 minus 6. You have 1 left over, so that means I'm going to add a decimal to 0 and bring it down. And 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, and then I have 1 left over, so this is going to be repeating. Okay, so you could have 37/3 or 12.3 repeating. Okay, let's look at some consecutive integer problems. So the word consecutive means one after another, okay? So if I'm looking at consecutive numbers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They go in a row. They go right after each other. 1 and 2 are consecutive, 2 and 3 are consecutive, 3 and 4 are consecutive, and so on. So let's look at the first one. If I want to find the first 3 consecutive even integers, okay, whose sum is 42. So sum means to add, and consecutive even integers would be, for example, if they're even, let's say I start with 2, the next even number would be 4, the next even number would be 6, okay? So we don't know what these actually are. So the first number I'm going to call x, okay? So the next number would be x plus 2, okay? Because it's 2 larger than the first one. Then the one after that here would be x plus 4, okay? Because this is actually 4 larger than the very first one of 2, okay? So if I want to find 3 consecutive even integers whose sum is 42, that means I'm going to add these integers together because I want sum. And that's going to be equal to negative 42, okay? So this is my first even number, my second even number, and my third even number. So now I need to set up an equation. So I'm going to add together all my x's. 1, 2, 3. 3x plus, I have 2 and 4 plus 6 is equal to negative 42. Okay, so now let's go ahead and solve for x. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. This becomes 0. 3x I'm going to bring down is equal to negative 48. And divide by 3 on both sides. Okay, so now I have x is going to be equal to negative 16. Okay? So now that we have x is equal to negative 16, let's go ahead and plug into our original equation. Okay? So I'm going to rewrite it over here. This is what we had. Our first number, our second number, and our third number. Okay? So now instead of x, I'm going to type in negative 16. Okay? For all of them. Okay, so let's add them together and see what we get. This one becomes negative 16, negative 14, and negative 12. Okay, so if we add all of these together, we do get negative 42. So this works. So our answer is negative 16, negative 14, and negative 12. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and erase all of this and try the next one. Okay, so I'm actually just going to move it up and rewrite what it is. Okay, so I want to find 3 consecutive odd integers whose sum is 51. Okay, so odd numbers are like 1, 3, and 5. Okay, these are consecutive and they're odd integers. So if I start off with the first one being x, the next one would have to be 2 larger, x plus 2, and the last one would have to be 4 larger. Okay, so where I'm getting that from is 3 is 2 larger than 1, and 5 is 4 larger than x. Okay, so this is now going to be equal to 51. Okay, and we're going to solve it the same way. I'm going to add up all my x's. 3x plus 6 is equal to 51. Okay? And then we're going to solve for x. This becomes 0, and I now have 3x is equal to 45. Okay? Divide by 3 on both sides, so x is equal to 15. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and plug in all of this information that I just got. Alright, so if we go back to our original, okay, now wherever I see x, I'm going to plug in 15. Okay, so let's see what we got. So 15 plus 17 plus 19, okay? And that is equal to 51, so we know that it worked. So our answer is 15, 17, and 19. Okay, so I'd like you to try these on your own. So let's go ahead and do them together, okay? So let's look at number 1. So we have find 3 consecutive even integers whose sum is negative 30, okay? So again, this could be 2, 4, 6. These are consecutive even integers. So my first term is x, my second term is 2 larger, and my third term is 4 larger. And this is all equal to negative 30. Okay, so I'm going to add up all my x's. I have 3x, and my whole numbers plus 6 is equal to negative 30. Solve for x. So 3x equals negative 36, and divide by 3 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to negative 12. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug in this information. I'm going to erase here. We know x is negative 12. So if we go back to our original problem, now I'm going to plug in negative 12 where I see x. Okay, so I have negative 12 plus negative 10 plus negative 8, which is going to be equal to negative 36. So I know that it works. So my answer, negative 12, negative 10, and negative 8. Alright, so for number 2, it says find 4 consecutive integers whose sum is 8. Okay, so this one's going to be a little bit different. Okay, so I want 4 consecutive integers. They don't have to be even or odd. So these are consecutive integers, correct? Okay, so there are 4 of them. So that means that the first one would be x. The second one, 2 is just 1 bigger. So x plus 1. 3 is 2 bigger than the original. X plus 2. And here, 4 is 3 larger. Okay, and we said this was going to be equal to 8. Okay, so we want to think about this. We have x, then we just have 1 larger, 2 larger, 3 larger, because these are consecutive numbers. So let's go ahead and add up all the x's. I have 4x plus 1 plus 6 is equal to 8. Okay, so subtract 6 on both sides. And I now have 4x is equal to 2. Divide by 4 on both sides. So x is going to be equal to 2 fourths, which is equal to 1/2. Okay, so now that I know x, let's go ahead and plug into our original equation. So here I'm going to rewrite the original equation. and x is 1/2. So I'm going to plug in for 1/2. Okay, and the last one, which is 1/2. All right, so let's see what we get. 1/2 plus 1 and 1/2 plus 2 and 1/2 plus 3 and 1/2 is equal to 8. Okay, so let's count how many whole numbers we have. We have 1, 3, 6. Okay, and then we have 4 halves, which is 2. So we know our answer works. Okay, so these are our 4 consecutive integers. 1/2, 1 and 1/2, 2 and 1/2, and 3 and 1/2.